Floowandereeze sails to the sky to show us that this deck, with new support, is able to do well. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. We have the Lima regional breakdown for you today from Carlancho Cards, and I must tell you, this is we've had a very strong Fire King tear through in a lot of this meta. It almost feels like at certain points that this is very comparable to the tyranny that we saw with Rescue Ace, Sprite, Tier. But that's fine. It's good to have a clear winner out here. It's everything that's rotating around the clear winner that's got people like too many decks. It's good to give the best deck, a chance to compete against its, other counterparts to challenge this. So our challengers for this, we had one Tier Elements. Now, I've been considering Tier a little bit more rogue, and I got roasted in my comment section from people going, wow, his deck still tops. A deck can still top and feel more like rogue than anything. I'm just putting that out there, all right? Times are changing. You'll see this eventually. Voiceless Voice also had a very strong showing for this. Skull Guardian, Novox, and friends really, really, really ramping things up out here. And I must say, I'm genuinely enjoying seeing how this deck is kind of coming to the forefront here and showcasing that we can do stuff. Now, we also have Purely. Oh, okay. I feel like I'm pretty used to seeing Purely at this point. Every single event that goes by that I don't see the Cat in the Hat deck actually do something, I feel like I'm more surprised than anything. We also have Flu. Now, Flu was sporting off the new TCG exclusive in their deck, which I think was actually pretty cool to actually see. And out of nowhere, Vanquish Soul enters into the arena. And to be honest with you, I think that was the most shocking thing that I saw out of this event was, Vanquish Soul being the super rogue competitor. It did squeak in at 8th place, but I still think that's something that you really got to be proud of. Let's pass on over to Deckless. Joining our event here is Fire Kings. Oh, well, not shocked there at the least anymore, partner. This build actually did have a little interesting innovations in here. We play double crossout, which is kind of interesting to see. Your hand trap ratio might feel a little bit weird in here because you're playing double copies of Nibiru, but you're also playing a copy of Ghost Bell. And you see that little Monster Reborn squeaking in here. I do want to tell you, for the lists that have been exploring Monster Reborn in here, it has been a disgusting tech choice to see along the way. Actually, Monster Reborn is such a strong card in this deck for what it can do. A lot more people need to continue to consider looking at this card. It will blow your opponent out of the water in so many crazy levels. It's kind of nuts. Also, hi Ghost Bell. I love your one-of placement in here just to be a cross-out target or for the mirror match, kind of round things out here. So not too bad for our first place winner. Next up, Voiceless Voice crawled all the way up from the abyss down here to sit at 2nd place, which is actually pretty good. Got to thank the new format for people not quite knowing how to handle this deck yet. I see that we have, yes, double Dynamondo. Finally. That's actually really nice to see. Now, this build did not play the Pendulum Graph stuff, to be honest with you. The 2 Saravis feels like it's been a little bit more welcoming for TCG players at this point, at least in terms of the build that they feel is a little bit more optimized, which is fair. Double Dynamondo is good. You do see Ultimate Slayer popping up down here, which is also kind of interesting. I'm very happy to see that. Double Ghost Bell, double DD Crow. Gotta love these little tech options. And I see that we also do have triple copies of Summon Limit, doing the Summon Limit thing to slow down the pace of the game. 2 summons. The splitting apart for the Dynamondo is the thing that makes this deck so insane. All right, what else we got going on back here? We have a decent Floowandereeze list sporting off the new stuff. Now, the new support card, I've heard a few duelists have had success with it, a lot of them kind of not wanting to show off their list or wanting to keep information safe. So I feel like this is the first real showcase that we got to see that, hey, Floowander actually did get a little piece of support along the way. It's only like a one-of, but that's fine. You also do see that we are playing the triple thrust in the main deck here, and then you can revolve down your tech choices of Dark Ruler No More, evenly matched to kind of clean up a lot of the more problematic things along the way. You also do see an Ultimate Slayer down here as well in the side deck. So you have a lot of versatility, I feel like, with the cards available in this deck to make mid-range calls for whatever matchup I feel like you're actually going to need to go through here. And that chance to diversify and make those better meta calls are what's going to carry a deck like this. Next up is is that a Misk and an Aleo in here? So this is still classified as Fire Kings. Holy crap. We're playing Parallel Exceeds in here as well. I've not seen anybody trying out a build like this. Basically, Misk into Aleo gets you a level 1 tuner, which speeds up the process to make the formula to make the Baron through the big Floowandereeze dragon. That's actually disgusting. That honestly is not something that I've seen anybody do at this point. This is completely new to me, but it makes sense because, you know, maybe you can bait your opponent into, you know, you go Misk at the beginning of your turn before any other combo, and they're like, oh, okay, well, maybe we should Ash that. It automatically baits an Ash, which is crazy, and then you can go ahead and start doing other combos. Also, this build does not play Bonfire. Is this more budget? I think this might actually be a slightly more... No Promethean. There is a Promethean. Okay. You know, no Bonfires needed. No Wanteds either. This is budget Fire Kings. All right, what else we got back here? So we decided, you know, the version that went 4th place versus 5th place is kind of nutty here, actually. You know, you do see the Bonfires, only 2 of them. You go into Wanted, you do see the one Dramatic Chase in here, which is, I think, a little bit more noticeable. Along the way, you do see, you know, double Promethean Princes in here. A lot of people do swear by the double Promethean. I think the double Promethean is honestly the way to go with a lot of this builds. You know, putting that pressure on your opponent with the crazy value that you can kind of get along the way with that is going to be very, very strong. You want that ability to bring down that pressure on your opponent so you can sit them do things. Also, Fenrir in here being once again the best mid-range control option that you can kind of expect to see along the way. Yep, I can't tell you how much we love to see it. Okay, good stuff. Now we have our Tier Elements duelist back here, coming in at 6th place. Now, anything super spicy in here? I feel like the spiciest thing is like we're playing Destrudo for the ability to bring it down as a tuner and speed up the process to make Baron. Is that really it? I mean, you're on 43 cards, which feels like a little bit more than we're used to seeing at this point. But, you know, as you're sifting through these lines of play, I feel like the more mill advantage that you can get, the better off you are. The double shufflers still being a massive help for putting the pressure on the opponent. Triple Super Poly, double King Sark. I feel like that's also become more of a norm at this point. You don't want to, you know, risk losing one along the way to some random RNG. You know, you still want to be able to access that and do good. And then you see your danger package being extended out at really the pace that you want. So, okay, I like this. This feels once again more normalized for once. Oh man, it's a purely duelist. This duelist is actually playing triple cross-out designator in here for, well, you got your Drolls, your Ashes, your Nibiru. Well, I feel like Nibiru doesn't really matter in this sense, but whatever sort of card you're going to need to stop free summon limits, that's also very, very strongly been an amazing option tree down here. And I do see that we have one DD Crow down in the side deck. Bill's also playing Double Zeus. I feel like, has Double Zeus been something that's been a little bit more normalized? I guess, to be fair, we're playing Pot of Prosperity, so the way that this extra deck feels like it's structured, I mean, maybe the matchup does call for an additional Zeus. You know, you can make that call as you're kind of going down the lines of play and adjusting. More options that you can have available to you, typically, the better off you'll be. So, okay, this feels honestly pretty strong, I will say. And then we have our Vanquish Soul Challenger down here. Only seeing one there. There can only be one in these lists. Feels so out of place to me. But with current Forbidden and Limited situations, you know, it do be like that. You can't really get the full crazy value off of it. Still see the Zodiac package in here for that format Zeus. You can go run around, get the double detach, free up those board clears. Deck feels pretty good, actually. I don't see anything out of too left field here. Like, that's pretty good by me. So there's your breakdown for this regional. A lot to see, and I like it. So please, Comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.